Most people don't lose because they don't know what to do. They lose because they lose the argument in their own head. You may know what you should be doing. Work out, save money, study more, stop procrastinating. The hard part isn't knowing what to do. It is winning the argument in your own head. Over time, I've found 7 mental frameworks that make it much easier to stop letting emotions make decisions for me. None of them remove emotion, they just make discipline easier. The first is using values-based decisions. You should define your principles in advance so that you act according to the values you have established for yourself, not the emotions in the moment. For example, if you decide that you are the type of person who saves money and invests it wisely, rather than one that makes impulsive purchases, it is much easier for you to commit to saving and investing when payday arrives. The second is to focus on executing a process rather than chasing a feeling. Essentially, you establish processes in your life that you decide you will use. So, say you decide to set a schedule for your running every week. This morning, you wake up and the schedule says to run 3 miles. You don't ask yourself if you feel like running. The schedule already answered that question. You will be running. This will reduce your internal negotiation, the voice trying to convince you that if you just take a break today, you will make up for it tomorrow. The third is cognitive reappraisal. This means challenging your interpretation of an emotion rather than the emotion itself. Emotions contain information, but they are not always accurate instructions. Instead of thinking, I'm nervous, so I shouldn't do this, you can think, I'm nervous because this matters. Instead of viewing discomfort as evidence that you're making the wrong decision, you begin to see it as evidence that you're growing, learning, or stepping outside of your comfort zone. Similar to your muscles getting sore after you work out. Just because your muscles are sore doesn't mean you're making the wrong decision by exercising. It means that you are growing and your body needs to adapt. Same thing happens with your emotions. You get nervous or scared because you are growing. By changing the meaning you assign to an emotion, you often change how much control it has over your decisions. Fourth is a simple one, exposure. Repeatedly doing the thing that triggers the emotion. Over time, fear or nervousness decreases, uncertainty becomes familiar, and confidence in yourself becomes evidence-based. Repeated exposure turns fear into familiarity. Confidence isn't something you magically feel. It's evidence accumulated from doing difficult things over and over. If you have ever served in the military or are familiar with military training, this may seem familiar to you, since military training relies heavily on this. That is why they have soldiers climbing crazy tall obstacles or rappelling down the sides of towers, not because it's skills that a soldier necessarily needs, but they help build the confidence in the soldier by removing fear. Fifth is emotional labeling. What this means is that you name every emotion you're feeling precisely. Instead of just thinking, I feel bad, you try and be as specific as possible with what you are feeling. You may instead think, I am frustrated because progress is slower than expected. You want to try and think about the emotion you are feeling and why you feel that. Simply putting an accurate name to what you're feeling often makes it less overwhelming. Sixth is identity-based discipline. This is another one that the military uses a lot, but anybody can use it to help overcome emotional situations. Basically, you constantly reinforce in yourself the identity you want to be. For example, I am an athlete. I am a professional. I am a soldier. Then, when you're in a difficult situation, instead of thinking, what do I do? You think to yourself, what would a person like that do here? Your behavior becomes much more consistent when you're trying to be the kind of person who does something, instead of trying to force yourself to do it. Finally, we have the Stoic control framework. This one is simple. You divide every problem into 3 categories: what you control, what you influence, and what you cannot control. Most people spend enormous amounts of energy on the third category, what you can't control. The Stoics argued that peace comes from focusing almost exclusively on the first, what you can control. Most people spend enormous amounts of time worrying about things they can't change. Instead, direct your effort almost entirely towards what you can control. Accept what you can't, influence what you can, and take responsibility for the things that are truly yours to change. None of these methods eliminate emotion. You're almost always going to feel lazy, afraid, distracted, or uncertain sometimes. The goal isn't to stop having emotions, it's to stop letting them make your decisions. If you can consistently do that, you'll accomplish things that once felt impossible, simply because you're no longer fighting yourself every day.